confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they do. You can't kill my confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they do. You can't kill my confidence, you think I give a fuck, that's what they tell me. All the fucks I ever gave
What am I doing playing a third song? I actually just want to get live. I was thinking, chat, I was thinking like I was thinking of making a guy. Okay, I wanted to make like I wanted to make a guy because Northern Lion has been Northern Lion's been streaming this fucking like Three Kingdoms thing. And I'm like, dude, wouldn't it be crazy if there was like Northern Lion, but he was Asian? And I'm like, that's crazy. Oh shit. Dude. Okay, guys. Yo, I did not start with the Trump voice, motherfucker. I'm sorry I just sound like that. God damn. There I am. Sorry guys, I was a little late. My I casted duplicity and it took a little bit to, you know, unproc after I attacked. You know, it's just one of those fun things about society. Northern Tiger. Mongolian NL. So, just so you guys know, I have been on the ass of this fucking AI generated rule book I'm reading. Okay? So a little bit of pre-stream conversation as some people roll in here, right? So I have a PDF now. Right? And yeah, look at how fucking artifact all of the AI art is. Now you guys can see all of it, right? In its glory, all its mid-journey AI. So I found a guy on Facebook, right? He apparently worked on Cyberpunk Red, Tales from the Red, and he also worked on Black Chrome, which is a book of items for Cyberpunk Red. Okay? He's a 20-year veteran of the games industry. And it is a public Facebook, okay? He's very public that this is his professional Facebook. This is where he shares things professionally with the public at large, right? Here's his new personal assistant. Grocket, no! Was July pre or post Mecha Hitler Grok? Was she Hitler maxing then, or did the anime girl stuff come after? I feel like it came after. But I gotta show you guys this. So the guy has no idea that I'm like a streamer. We're gonna use Mana Potion to reach out for an interview, and I have a lot of questions, obviously, right? But he's like, as a co-owner of Dilly Green Bean Games, which is his production house, right? I have hired and fired plenty of people. I hope I'm never the boss. That's like, I've fired many people. I've fired a lot of people in my day. This one actually should be read like Trump. I've hired and fired plenty of people. Especially in the beginning, artists and writers became so unreliable, I had to learn how to do it all myself. Hold on. I had to do it all myself. I've seen technologies change. When I first came into the industry, Daz 3D and poser art, they say it was hated. They said it was hated by artists and publishers. Less than a decade later, they're using Daz 3D. They said, Jay, you're wrong, but Jay, you're actually right. Now AI graphics are here, and guess what? Artists and publishers, they're on a warpath. People. Behind the scenes, publishers are using it. They're using AI. They don't want to admit it, but they're using it. Artists open letter, they're campaigning people, and we don't hire anybody anymore. We don't do that. We don't hire people. We just use AI. Okay, no, let me drop the act here for a second to actually talk about how fucking insane this thing is. I'm reading this from somebody that worked with one of the greatest game designers of the tabletop industry since Gary Gygax, okay? Like, you guys don't know, you probably don't, but for those of you guys in the know of this stuff, right? There's a guy, his name is Mike Pondsmith. Mike Pondsmith is the creator of Cyberpunk. the whole setting and mechanics. He is the visionary behind it. This guy worked with Mike Pondsmith. Mike Pondsmith had very openly worked with people like that were LGBT and disabled and all this stuff. So that way he could, bring some of that to Cyberpunk and more accurately represent those things on the table, right? But I just can't believe that this guy worked for him. I actually find it kind of amazing. But Daz 3D, in case you guys don't know, is like literally the thing they use to make 3D visual novels for people to jerk off to. It's like the bimbofication machine. It's a bimbofication machine. But yeah, his whole thing in this is like, I've worked in the industry for 20 years and I've had plenty of artists who sucked. I've had plenty of people who I had work for me who sucked, so I fired those people that sucked. And now instead of hiring people, I use AI. Instead of hiring employees, I use AI. And I gotta be honest, after reading through his Facebook and learning a little bit about this guy, I not only can't believe that he worked for Mike Pondsmith and helped to develop some of the most iconic items in Cyberpunk Red, but the fact that he teaches, this motherfucker teaches. But I honestly, I don't want to Dunning-Kruger this because I don't think, let's see. I basically would manage people when I was a teacher too. But I've managed people and groups of people for at least the past 2.5 years. Clearly not 20. I understand a Dunning-Kruger effect here. I'm not immune to propaganda, okay? But this guy being like, I don't hire artists anymore and all this stuff is just so fucking funny to me because the guy is a designer. Dude, Grok and ChatGPT could take your job too. I don't think they are, and there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, and I'll put it in the review of the game as to why. I think the AI is a bubble and it's not actually producing anything. It's like bullshit work. It's fake producing stuff. But this guy teaches game design, yet he very clearly has used AI as a crutch to design things. And it shows. It shows. It's really fucking bad. Okay? But he keeps talking about... Basically, he's boomer maxing and saying how young artists, want living wages. And that you can get good art as long as you know how to prompt good. Right? And boy, oh boy, one of my former students now works with me on Katana Ra, and I have another I'm trying to bring on board. What do you even have them doing? Like, unironically, what do you have them doing on this? Because it's fucking bullshit is what you have them doing. This book sucks ass, okay? I'm spending all this time during... This guy worked on Cyberpunk and he doesn't even understand the issues with corporate malfeasance. How did this guy work on Cyberpunk, one of the most politically active and irresident RPGs of the last decade, and yet he apparently missed the entire fucking memo? Okay, it's like this guy is one of those guys who's like, Blade Runner is cool, but then doesn't understand all of the associated social commentary associated with cyberpunk fiction. This is like the kind of guy who's like, I loved RoboCop as a kid, and now he's a 50-year-old guy, and he's like, fucking Back to Blue, blah blah blah. I miss when things used to be based, blah 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 blah. Right? Completely missing the fucking point of RoboCop being like, oh, it's one of my favorite action movies ever. Are we sure he worked on Cyberpunk? Yes, he did. I checked. He's listed on R. Talsorian Games as a game designer. Yes. So this guy is like the real fucking deal, has 20 years of experience, and apparently he didn't learn anything in his past 20 years. I know that obviously the book is my first foray, but after seeing how poorly this book was put together, I'm like, wow, I actually, even though I'm younger and he has more years on me, I understand the basic functions of a book better than him. He actually struggles with the functioning of an index or a table of contents, which are so bare boned. It's ridiculous. I could actually do a whole stream about this, but I won't. I'm basically doing an FPS Diesel video on the Mana Potion Tabletop channel, but as the host on Mana Potion Tabletop. So like that's where my energy is at right now. But yeah. So anyway, Jay Parker, you're on my list. You're on my bullshit artist list. Not only that, there's the other person who's like the crackpot behind this. So that lady who this is where Diesel gets based. Okay, so this is where I get based. This isn't Mana Potion Tabletop where I'm like fucking, you know, professional. The other person who owns Katana Ra, the CEO of the company that published this, is named Kaz, and she has an I don't know, it's an interesting Instagram. That's all I'll say for now. And she is like a crackpot who has like a TV show for Katana Ra. She not only has a TV show for Katana Ra, there's a comic book, and the comic book, hold on, I'll actually pull this up now. Let me go find it. Hold on. Did my laptop die? I mean, not my laptop, my keyboard. No. Katana Ra. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you the fucking yaoi. The yaoi that they're selling. The AI generated yaoi, bro. They're selling AI generated yaoi, dude. They done gentrified the yaoi. Boy lovers, sorry. By the way, I know this isn't like actually men kissing here. I know we can all see the men kissing. That guy is dying, okay? But on the floor, dying. Not Mizuo, but Tetsuke. But it just kind of looks like they're kissing, right? Like that's two men kissing. But yeah, everything, all of this is AI, bro. All of it's AI. And so, yes, $30 for that, by the way. $30 for AI. But yes. I've been 70. So they gave me a $70 book and a $50 rule book. And then I have a $40 adventure book. So they gave me over $100 worth of material. It wasn't worth that. It wasn't worth that at all, okay? AI Yaoi, the Fujoshis would never. So true. But yes, so Kaz has like a video game on Steam. It's $20, and everybody kept telling me not to buy the $20 AI slop video game, but I want to go deep on this. So I think I'm going to buy the $20 AI slop video game. And I'm also going to book an interview with like the CEO or whoever answers, basically. Just because I'm basically just doing an FPS Diesel video on Mana Potion Tabletop, but it's based around fucking tabletop games and AI because I'm done. I'm putting my fucking foot down. I'm staking my claim in the sand right here. All right. I slave away, and I've been painstakingly writing this fucking book for like 2 months. Okay. I've been writing so much, guys. You have no idea. All right. Fucking everybody's on their A game right now, and they're working hard. Meanwhile, people like this can just rest on their laurels, produce garbage shit that they sell to people on the basis and back of other projects they worked on while spitting in the face of all of their contemporaries who are actually still working hard. Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, fuck that. We're gonna get on to Cinder now. That's my pre-ramble done, okay? Diesel, please, TLDR, so lost. Listen, man, it's the pre-stream conversation. Just go back to the beginning. I'll get onto the main topic now. Anyway, yes, if you guys heard, Cinder responded. And okay, sorry, I'm gonna get a little based here. But if Cinder was mad that other artists or that other VTubers looked like her because they did, maybe they should all stop using Nanolist to do commission work. If Nanolist is making VTubers and all the VTubers look the same, then I don't know. Maybe that's on Nanolist,
You
but
should
I don't know,
cover
man.
Cyberpunk lore in the future.
I love Cyberpunk. I love it. I have a collection of the 2020 supplements, as well as Cyberpunk Red and all of
Now
its
that the
supplements.
Christ Henarch derail is done.
But yeah, I love Cyberpunk. It's super fucking good. But yes, Cinder released a response. But yes, based opinion there is that it does kind of seem like Nanolist produces a lot of VTubers that look the same. And yeah, man. If Cinder's really upset about that, instead of like booking Nanolist, maybe both maybe everybody involved could have gotten, you know, other people to do the work. I mean, there's a few other goblins, I'll say that, but none of them look quite like me, which is good. They're also all women, like Podge and Honey. Those are the two that come to mind. Yeah, those are the only two that come to mind, but they don't look like me at all. Mainly because I have a penis, but you know. Anyway, hey Grok, can you? I know I just complained about this and I'm about to steal somebody's bit. Hey Grok, can you summarize the Google Doc from the POV of an orc from Lord of the Rings? Listen here, you sniveling whelps. This is a Google scroll. It'd be a massive tome from Cinder the Airland, defending herself against a pack of you lying traitors like Nanolus, Shy Lily, Silvervale. She's claiming they twisted her words about gaslighting artists, cheating on her mate Red, and stirring jealousy within the VTuber horde. This here tome stuff with screenshots, so sweet-talking DMs to prove her innocence, admitting some fibs, but blaming the accusers for the real dark magics. It's 1,000 pages of a war cry saying they lied, not me, but the mob scoffs, calling it goblin gibberish. Oh, what a bloody mess. Oh, here's another thing. I was thinking about this on my drive home today, dude. Oh, I appreciate you becoming a member of the gas station. I gotta update the member names. I mean, we got international now. We're basically like an international criminal corporation. But anyway, I like the VTube aspect. I like being a goblin. I tend to be a little more tired these days on stream. I don't know if you haven't noticed. Maybe it's because I'm doing so much. But it makes me feel good. I like doing it. The one problem I have though is that I act pretty. I'm like just kind of a crazy version of myself
Weaver
on
of
here.
Dreams celebrates 24 months of membership. British Hawk trumps Trump.
British Hawk. We go go ahead. He's one of the lads. They're saying his name is Donald, and as a orc goes, he's kind of orange. But yeah, I like it. I like being a VTuber. I like that stuff. The one problem is that while I'm pretty real with it, I feel like everybody says they're being real with it. I feel like that's such like fucking crack shit. Okay, it's bullshit. But yeah, I like to think I'm being pretty honest and real. I act pretty similarly to how I do in real life, except I'm a little extra crazy. And on here, I can talk about how fucking in need I am of fat ass. And I can't do that in real life. But but I can't do that in real life. But I just feel like VTubing is way too overly positive to the point where it's almost toxic and unhelpful. And even when VTubers talk about it, they can't help but do it. And I understand it comes part and parcel with the culture because it's all like based in idol culture, but boy, oh boy, is that really annoying. I refuse to learn about any VTuber drama unless it comes from this channel. Thank you, Mally. I appreciate it. I think we all know why Mally likes this one though, you know. Chad, he still does that in real life. I don't actually, which is crazy. Anyway, yeah, let's see what Cinder had as a response. For those of you unfamiliar with the drama, I'll give you the quick TLDW. Basically, a bunch of VTubers came out, or wait, no, fuck, who was it that came out? I can't fucking remember who originally said the fucking allegations. Oh, basically, it was that Cinder was a bad bitch. That Cinder was essentially being a two-timing weasel of a woman who was conniving to try and put the other people in the industry down. She was basically being very business-minded to the point. Oh, it was Nanoless. Okay, it was Nanoless. Okay, so Nanoless was accusing Cinder of being like a weaselly little bitch, basically. That's really it. Cinder's biggest crime is that she was an asshole and got caught being an asshole. Because she was basically trying to steal away Nanoless from other artists or from other VTubers. And then there was also some other shit where like Cinder was just playing Mean Girl games. But to be honest, I think like every single female VTuber be playing the fucking Mean Girl games. I feel like a lot of them can't help but do it. It's very common. But yes, these Vermont Ubers, these Vermont Ubers had quite a lot to say about Cinder. And then after Nanoless put out the Google Docky, a bunch of people went live, and some of these women cried on stream. And as they cried on stream,
you don't need the goblin to tell us how horny you are, Diesel. You do it all the time anyway.
That's true. That's true. I feel like this makes it better though. Like, it's easier to stomach, you know? But yeah, the biggest crime is that Cinder was trying to make Nano her exclusive artist without paying her like an exclusive artist, which is not good. But there's also just like plenty of Mean Girl drama in this. As with most things in VTubing, 90% of the drama is just like fucking Mean Girl bullshit. Yeah, I gotta turn off Grammarly. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, my voice is a little hoarse. Your voice isn't a little hoarse. It's Diesel. That was bad. All right. Okay. All right, Unc. Why don't you get back to fucking bed, Grandpa? Jesus. Hi, everyone. It's been over 5 months since everything happened. I have never been good with words. I'm especially bad at verbalizing my feelings. I've always hid my insecurities. We're off to a good start, people. And again, I just want us to put into perspective here that what Cinder did was try and make an artist exclusive. And then it wasn't even, okay, I know that Cinder wasn't offering Nanoless a lot of money, but the drama was not Cinder wasn't going to pay me a lot of money. The drama was that an artist shouldn't be exclusive, okay? So Cinder was like, I want to make this artist exclusive. Nanoless said, I don't want to do that. I don't know, maybe, maybe not, but then chose not to. And then basically that got mixed in with all the Mean Girl stuff, and then there we are, all right? It has a lot less to do with the amount of money that Nanoless was being offered, and more to do with the fact that Cinder made people cry on stream, and more to do with the fact that Cinder was going to make Nanoless exclusive, okay? That is what Cinder's crime is. She did not rape. She did not violence. Nobody was murdered. No crime was committed. No violent, awful thing happened. There is 0 rapes in this. Unless I read this 1,000 pages and there's a rape in it. But as I know right now, we are rapeless. Okay, I made my daily quota for that right there. I gotta stop. I'm taking away from the hard-earned shekels of Nicholas Diorio. Anyway, we'll get back to reading it. As I say with many Google Docies, by the way, or any YouTuber apology, we never want to start by talking about how much of a dark place we were in. Nobody gives a shit when you talk about how much of a dark place you're in. You need to just get right into the meat and potatoes of what you're responding to. No, it was Cinder forcing Nano to drop clients while trying to gaslight her into becoming exclusive. Well, the basic like premise was that, okay, Nano, I want you to be exclusive to me. So while we work out the deal, don't work with them in the meantime, you know? We just want to make sure that you're not doing it. But yeah, imagine getting a "we should be friends from now on" on a business front though. But yeah, I mean, basically this is starting with the usual word of, "I'm in a dark place" stuff. We've all seen that a million times. Usually when I read a document or watch one of these videos and it starts with the "I was in a dark place," you know that the rest of it just isn't really going to come through and they got to fight against my personal judgment. I honestly though, I'm kind of like dark horsing Cinder right now, because I think you can be like the meanest, most awful person and still be a VTuber. Let's see. It was nearly 2 a.m. for me on April 26th when Nanoless and Bao posted their documents together. After I finished streaming earlier that night, I was awake for almost 48 hours by the time I posted my apology. Guys, this woman had worked for 48 hours in front of her computer. She was working in her pajamas! Looking back at it, no, it wasn't good. I was not in a sound state of mind when it was written. All right. All right. I was blindsided by any of this coming out and the accusation made against me. No one involved tried contacting me privately beforehand. I was unable to... Well, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I have a feeling that there is a VTuber... Like, every time one of these kind of, like, Google Docy stuff drops, the same thing with the Radia and what's-her-fucking-face stuff. I want to call her Lola Bunny. She's not Lola Bunny, but that's what I'm calling her now. When Lola Bunny and the radioactive scorpion had their falling out, there was like 110% like other group chats going on where they were like coordinating and talking about this and Google Docy dropping, okay? And Bao and Nanoless definitely coordinated to drop it. There was definitely a group of other girls who wanted to mean girl back on Cinder, okay? The Glupshido files, if you will. Release the Glupshido files. I was blinded. It wasn't good. I was in no sound state of mind to do this. I was blindsided by any of this coming out and accusations made against me. No one involved tried contacting me privately beforehand. I was unable to eat, sleep, or do anything. Hello, Chris. Listen. Fuck this gay-ass YouTuber drama Vincent Martin uploaded. Listen, man, if I really cared about what the unemployed did, I would be working at the unemployment office, okay? So there's that. I'm sure Vincent Martin could spend a lot more of his time more effectively if he applied for social services. I won't let Chris hijack me anymore. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna continue this gay ass VTuber drama. D, you're reading a Google Doc of the unemployed. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had this kind of mental fortitude to like fucking develop 1,000 pages. All right, this is a manuscript, dude. Slender Man ain't got nothing on this. I thought 9 pages was a lot. This motherfucker got 1,000. I didn't have access to blah, blah, blah. Looking back on it, it was no good. I was not in a sound state of mind. No one involved tried contacting me privately beforehand. I was unable to eat, sleep, or do anything else but watch more documents and statements be released while everything fell apart. I didn't have Red. I didn't have my friends, but I had the weight of the entire internet waiting to see what I was going to say and how I was going to say it wrong. I didn't have access to search for all the evidence to defend myself with a growing list of allegations, and I didn't have time to put it all together cohesively. Anyways, I was petrified. How could I possibly respond correctly to a coordinated effort like this in the state I was in without blindly accepting fault for all the things? Why is my... All right, I get not being able to sleep after this happens, right? But why is like the first... I understand a knee-jerk reaction to respond instantaneously. But what you should do is go, I want to respond instantaneously, unplug, and then fucking take some medication and fall asleep, right? So that way you can sleep, get through this, and then tackle it in the morning with a sound mind, right? But the way you're saying it right now is like you're trying to resist the fucking Ring's temptation, okay? And it's speaking to you that it'll give you unlimited power if you say something. It's like you're saying it like you're not actively able to respond or resist it. And also, I mean, yeah, I mean, she is kind of, she's not burying the lead there, but saying it's a coordinated effort. I mean, I agree that it was probably like strategized in private, but as for what was and wasn't, it's kind of hard to say. It took me a long time to mentally recover and have the ability to face any of this again. I couldn't look at anything Cinder related without taking a break, without breaking down. All of my fans that looked up to me were led to believe I was evil and encouraged to destroy or donate my merch. Okay, so donating to merch, cool. Donating it to Goodwill, bad. Donating it to Salvation Army, also bad. Donating it to a shelter, good. Destroying it, bad. Putting microplastics in the water supply, bad. All right. Why that happened? I don't know. I think you guys need help. And if you did that, you are actually a crazy person who, if I met you in real life, I would mock you to your face. I would call you a fucking idiot. Almost everyone I knew or cared about turned on me in an instant. Not surprised. I would not be surprised if VTubing is filled with nothing but fair weather friends. And anyone who's ever had anything to say about me did. I only had one of my close friends message me after everything was out. I have received rape, dox, and death threats. I don't know why I read that so loud. Over the accusations. I'm sure that happened. I'm not going to Google Cinder rape, though, right now, but I'm sure it happened. So I stepped away from the internet. I reconnected with Red, and we worked things out between ourselves. When we were both ready to, he helped me with the long process of making this document. Well, that's not going to go over well with everybody else now, is it? I didn't say almost anything to anyone sooner, privately or publicly, because no one would believe me until I had absolutely everything put together to post all at once in one place. I don't know. Maybe you could have told somebody, like, yeah, I'm going to have a response if they asked. I mean, just, yeah, like Cosmic said, hey, the response is coming, give me time. Purpose of this document. Dude, I swear to God, if these people put in as much effort as they did on Google Docies as they did on their, like, school essays, we'd have nothing but a country of valedictorians, bro. Okay? To present the full story and the fact, I like how this is presented where it's like, you know, when it's opening statements of a court case, it's like opening statements. To present the full story of facts and evidence around what happened with complete transparency, defend myself against what has been said about me, and provide mine and Red's perspectives and motivations about each situation. It wasn't my choice to make this public, but since it is my side of the story, it's my matter to do so. to take accountability for everything that each of us are guilty for in the past couple of years, whether they were related or in the documents or not. This document will not absolve either of us for all of our wrongdoing. It isn't trying to dispel rumors, misconceptions, and theories about me. This document contains speculation. Baseless accusations were made against me without evidence. So I've kept the labels, kept it labeled as such to this document. Most of it is supposed to be circumstantial evidence, but it should not be treated as solid fact. This document is not to fuel harassment or spread hate towards anyone involved. Diesel, are you seriously going over the 1K page Google Docie? Well, I'll sure as hell give it a good fucking college try, dude. I'm sorry to anyone who's been affected by any of the actions of rogue community members against my principles. There's been rogue state actors in the Cinder Nation, dude. Cinder Nation, let's take a vow of silence, or not a vow. Let's take a moment of silence for those rogue actors that are operating within our state lines. I have been made out to be a two-faced, greedy, jealous, psychopathic narcissist who maliciously used, stalked, sabotaged, and betrayed those close to me. Well, when you say it like that, that is written so well. That, oh my God. That is the grapes of wrath of literary Google Docie writing, dude. John Steinbeck, eat your heart out. And anyone around me for my own gain for years, manipulating my way to the top like some kind of evil mastermind. Well, like, let's be real. The allegations in this are really milquetoast. So the fact that it has been such a grinded axe in this is kind of crazy. I mean, let's be real, man. I am like me too. Me too, girl. Me too. Greedy. I mean, I'm not jealous of anybody, but I am a psychopathic narcissist. And let's see.
Diesel,
yeah, that's
I'm
it.
Drunk. PLS, stop sniffing me.
I mean, why you smell so good? You were lied to. There are things I've done wrong, but this image of me cannot be further from reality. This is a complete public assassination of my character over what were lies and assumptions, followed by my cancellation and disappearance, with my accusers profiting from it. If I was really an awful person I was made out to be, then this document wouldn't exist. Guys, if I was really a piece of shit, why would there be a... She just said, I've been made out to be a malicious psychopath who manipulates people. And then here's her saying, if I was an awful person, why would this exist? Why would this document I write exist? This is like the O.J. Simpson "If I Did Do It" book. My name is Regina George, and I am a massive deal. I can't sing. I wouldn't have any way to refute the claims made against me. I could have just continued streaming and profited from the drama, and over 30 million views this situation gathered. Yeah, not to be that guy, but like, yeah, you take a week and then be like, these people are, you know what? When Nux Taku got like absolutely reamed rightfully for his weird shit, are we really surprised he doubled down into being like a fucking Uncle Tom for white nationalists? Like, are we really surprised that the guy doubled down after getting his fucking hand slapped? Like, where else was he gonna go? They don't care about the fucking weird rape shit. It's no surprise that he went to the culture war. So honestly, yeah. My point being is that she should have. I could have let everyone forget about this and come back like nothing ever happened. You should have done that, honestly, Based. But if it's not true, I couldn't allow myself to move on without making things right. Everything. I fixed my profile. You didn't want to be the fucking emoji anymore? Both Red and I have done wrong, and all of that will be addressed here, but the story everyone was told was not the reality of what happened. Every single person I've interacted with in almost 5 years, even those closest to me, and every single interaction with them would have been fake for the story told about me to be true. I believe that there were 2 people responsible for how things played out, with a third person merely having an axe to grind, someone they never liked. Nanolith lied overwhelmingly about what happened between her and Red, sat back and played everyone, including my friends. Shy Lily lied about me from the start, orchestrated things behind the scenes, and manipulated the public to their side. Dude, these are some bold claims, dude. These are some bold claims. Silvervale took the opportunity to lie about all of our interactions together, making things even worse for me. They had the most to gain from my cancellation, including their own satisfaction. Okay, you can't prove that at all, actually. That's weird. Who wrote this doc? Cinder and Red. Which is redacted, which is like her ex-boyfriend. None of them could take accountability for their own actions and pushed it all onto me instead. I don't like Silvervale personally. I think she's kind of like a pick-me, but that's just like, you know, my opinion, man. The only 2 people that could disprove their lies were just made into lying manipulators and wiped off the internet. Aside from the labeled speculation, everything presented in this document is true to the best of mine and Red's knowledge. I have nothing to hide. There isn't a reason to hide anything anymore. The bulk of what's shown here over the past 2 years. Keep in mind that no matter who you are, opinions, thoughts, and feelings can change a lot over such a long period of time, for better or worse. I went back and forth on a lot of things to put in here, asking myself if I should leave them out for people's sake. No matter what evidence is included in this document, it wouldn't be surprising if it's claimed that even with all of the evidence, all of this is me just trying to lie, manipulate, and gaslight my way out of what happened, and that no one should possibly believe me again. Well, I will say there is a sentence a little further up that does just straight up sound like you trying to gaslight, but also I think it's a really funny line, so I'm glad you have it in there, sister. She should have published it. I would get this signed in hardback, not gonna lie. To show that I stand behind everything I have written here and that I am sorry for the things I have done, I've made a very hard decision. I'm giving up part ownership of the game of GamerSupps. I think that this is insane, actually. I think this is the most mentally deranged statement in this. You've got to be kidding me. You're like, because of the drama I was in, I am relinquishing my shares of ownership of GamerSupps. Wow, that's crazy. You've given nothing but your enemies everything they could have ever wanted. You're actually handing them nothing but victory on a silver platter. Like, that's outrageous. I've worked so hard for them since December of 2022, and earning this position was one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. I'm honored they chose to give me the opportunity. I'm honored this company gave me the opportunity to buy immense amounts of shares in their company and be a private stakeholder. Me when I own stocks on Robinhood. GamerSupps suffered a lot of damage when all the accusations were made about me. Wasn't GamerSupps also going through like the racism stuff at the time? I'm pretty sure that was happening at like the same time as this. You know, I don't know, man. Seems like it was kind of serendipitous timing. This is my responsibility as part owner, and I don't want any more harm or negativity to come to them by having this position. But it's not. What? Is it really? Do GamerSupps customers really give a shit whether or not Cinder sucks or not? Because I don't think so. I don't think most of them do. I'm checking my audio, Cosmic. I don't see any peaking on my end. So I didn't have I didn't have to do this, and I wasn't forced to coerce into this decision. There are things more important to me than business. Are you kidding me? She's like actually falling on the sword right now because she wants to show that. So, okay, so this does make it sound like it's a manipulation tactic because she's like doing it because she wants to show that she's more than business, which kind of makes it sound like she's doing it for performative reasons. She just didn't need to do that. Honestly, that's really it. I notified them of my decision in June. It will take effect at the same time this document is published. Each tab in this document is about the people and events related to claims against me. The burden of proof is on the accuser, not of the accused. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's get into this. Let's start with redacted.
It's my Oshi Goblin Man.
Hello, Pinker. Red helped me put together this entire document. We want to be upfront and honest that this was a two-person effort. His own commentary is present throughout. Dude, I hate this. Why do VTubers keep doing this? Where the Google Docies have running commentary from secondary fucking characters. It's like, hey, this is the Google document. This is the second person in the Google document. I will occasionally be chiming in as the second person with words.
Oh, you're still in the forward. That
oh, we
means
just
your brain is
got through
still
the forward.
intact.
Don't you worry. Hello. I'm Red. I'm Cinder's longtime partner and have worked alongside her since she started this career. I helped her put this document together. Bro, dude, Red is the OF guy that holds the camera. That's crazy. I helped her put the document together and set the record straight. I'm also Alfred. Over the past few months, I've had to come to terms with this being the reason why Cinder's image. I can't. I'm fucking not drinking enough water. I get it. Let's see. I'm the reason why Cinder's image, her relationships, and her career were all ruined. I hurt people who are our friends. I fucked up. And she had the answer to the world for it by herself. Boyfriend is like, I'm ready to fall on the sword, my dear. Are we going through the whole doc? I am reading it. I will not finish it today, and I will probably never finish it ever, but I will read it, okay? And I will not skip it. My actions ruined everything for her, and I'm taking responsibility in helping her pick up the pieces. I didn't want to put something out sooner without her that could have made things worse. I ask that you don't hold what I did against her. Red and I are still together. We had a falling out and spent time apart after the documents dropped. Dude, the Google Docies tore the relationship apart. But he was still there for me when I was ready to talk to him again. We were able to work on things between us and forgive each other for what had happened. I wasn't planning to say anything about this publicly, but I feel I needed to. Many years ago, I cheated on Red online for my own selfish reasons. Oh my god! She had a Discord kitten, but he was the Discord kitten, and then she got a second Discord kitten. And the things I said about him were out of my own frustration and past experiences. I don't think you should be with this Red guy. I think he's a fucking cuck. I'm sorry. I know you cheated on him and you guys worked it out, but this motherfucker needs some fucking confidence. Okay? This Red guy seems like a fucking dweeb. Till Google Doc to us part. There is no reason that this guy should be landing on the sword for you at all. I'm sorry. Why are you... This is actually abysmal. This is abysmal. She shouldn't have actually responded to this. like obviously, like I like who hasn't been cheated on? I get it. We've all been cheated on. We've all gone back to the partner. We've all dealt with that stuff. But in the same breath, the extenuating circumstances around this. Let's put it this way: Red built a millionaire's career. Cinder's boyfriend built a millionaire's career. Red managed all of her business things. Red did all of the boring shit. What didn't Red do? And even now in this Google document, he's gotta respond and apologize for her actions. It's crazy. Let them be miserable together as long as it's away from the rest of us. I mean, yeah, obviously, like at the end of the day, I don't care. But like as a guy, I just kind of sit there and go, man, the fuck you doing? You a grown man. You don't have confidence for yourself. This is fucking terrible. Like, it's just one of those things that you kind of like look at. And you're like, ugh. I gotta fucking like, ugh. Diesel, you know how mentally ill pussy be. I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know, man. I just don't got time for that bullshit now, dude. Red and I have always had some level of communication problems. Aye. You guys are on Discord. You can talk whatever. Just call them up. Be like, yo, honey, what you want for dinner? Hold on. I jumped ahead. We addressed both of our problems in our relationship and moved past it a long time ago. It had nothing to do with my career. It had nothing to do with my career and current events. It isn't relevant to talk about further. We disagree, we get mad at each other, we argue, but our relationship isn't toxic or abusive in any way. I would appreciate if the speculation around it would stop. I will now talk about our relationship more. Red and I have always had communication problems. Okay, even with each other. Neither of us are good communicators beyond surface level. Why? This actually sounds like this is a bad relationship. It's hard to open up. And we get in our own heads about things. We butt heads and disagree with each other sometimes. And even more so working together all day, every day. It's gotten much better over the years, but it's never been perfect. So the idea that anyone in any relationship would know about and agree with everything their partner feels, says, and does is crazy to me. But you had a professional relationship with Red. Red was acting not as your boyfriend, but as your manager in this. So he was talking about things that directly need to involve you for the business. So that's not a communication error. That's like a business error. That's a different thing. We're talking about a different ball game. The relationship is different there. There's a lot to say about this, by the way. Yeah, there's a lot you could say about this. I'm not the only one who has ever had a significant other keep secrets from them. I think the secret depends. If you like kill someone to keep your partner safe or something, I don't know. I don't know what the barrier for me is on what I do or don't tell a partner. But like, I mean, yeah, I guess one of the secrets is that you cheat on him. And I guess one of the other secrets is that he doesn't like, this isn't even like a secret keeping thing. This is like a business thing. This is completely different. This is like if your business partner was like, I ordered 1,000 tires, but I kept it a secret from you because I didn't want you to know.
Baba Booey.
Also, I know I've said it before, but this has all the hallmarks of a drama in the sexy model side of the cosplay community. Remember kids, it's always a cosplayer. Every single time.
That's true. It has been a lot of cosplayers, dude. It has been a lot of cosplayers. It's honestly kind of crazy. It's just where the mean girls end up, man. They realize that the 6-figure salaries of the guys who do programming is actually fucking great, so they need to come here. But yeah. I was talking about it. I had a regular come in to the store and we were talking, and he was basically saying to me like, oh Yeah, like we were talking about how I was a drama tuber at one point, and I was explaining the whole like Arrested Development thing, where it's like you get famous at a young age, you basically stop aging, where that's where you're like, oh, my mental fortitude has stopped here. Like I don't grow past that. I don't know what the barrier is when you get like quote unquote famous, but Cinder clearly hit that. Because this is sounding like I have a high school relationship, not I have a long-term partner. Or at least that's what it sounds like to me. It just sounds like they're having the communication issues you work out. So it's like, okay, you have your first relationship and you're super pleasy to your partner, right? Because it's your first relationship. And then after that first relationship falls through, you realize that a lot of the reason it fell through is that you need to be a better communicator or anything like that. And then you take that experience and then you apply it to your next relationship. Not like a job per se, but like you get in reps in a relationship by like making those mistakes with the prior person and then not repeating those in the future, right? But if you're just with one guy for like literally ever, you never move past all of those mistakes you make because some of them are like really difficult to get past without having to break the relationship in half to get there. And it's just, you know, it's why people date. It's why you date a lot of people. And you don't do that like consciously, right? If you find a one, you find a one, but it definitely helps. Because I know as I've moved on and moved through life, I've gotten better because at one point I wasn't good at doing those things. But it doesn't sound like that happened here. It's never been perfect, so the idea that anyone and everyone would know, blah, blah, blah. Every relationship is different and has its own nuances, dynamic, and problems, functioning in a way that only the two people involved know and fully understand. No one looking in can say otherwise. I mean, yeah, but you're making a lot of comments that I hear. Cinder is saying things that I hear from young people a lot. So I can make inferences. Listen, inhabiting my inner unk right now, okay? I can make educated inferences based on my life experience, okay? Because the reality is every single thing and experience that people have in their life, many of those overlap, okay? Many people have an awkward first kiss. Many people have an awkward first time in bed. Many people have a very blowout argument with a partner. Many people fucking have tons of experiences like that, okay? Because I cheated on Red, should I assume that everyone's significant other has cheated on them in the past? Should I assume that all of my friends' relationships are the same as mine? What the fuck kind of... What is this, dude? Why is she talking about her relationship like this? No, and for me to claim I know exactly how things work between any of them just because I'm their friend that sees them a few times a year is ridiculous. This is actually pretty... This is really bad. This one's not doing well right now, dude. It's kind of wild. When I became Cinder, I wanted to keep our relationship private. In public, Red was simply my manager, and we hid our relationship from my friends over the year during multiple trips. That's weird! That's weird! Don't do that! That's giving people the wrong idea. Dude, this is like, there's only nefarious things come from like this whole setup that I'm seeing right now, right? Because the simps online are gonna get this weird parasocial fixation, right? Your friends are gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with those two? Why do they act like that? They're just homies. Or like, there's just no way, especially when you're doing it with your friends, that's gonna look weird. There's no way you're getting through that without it being strange for people. People are gonna be weirded out by that, 100%. We agreed that I'd tell my closest friends about our relationship in March of 2024 because we felt we were close enough and trusted them enough to tell them. When we traveled, my friends saw us close by each other and showing each other our work DMs on our phones. Almost all the time from our chats, we were in both, instead of talking about things out loud to keep up with our projects while away and keep them private between us. It's easy to say, look at this, and keep each other on the same page, rather than have a verbal conversation while around other people at almost all the time while away. What they saw at a convention or on vacations was all they saw. Okay, so if you're I'm sorry, this is actually wacky. This kind of like a general perception between like when I'm working with business professionals or we're in an environment where we're all of the same industry and we talk about things that are clearly private and related to the industry, we're all of the assumption that we will keep those things private and not share them. I don't really think there is much that would make a yeah, there's no reason for this. There's just none. I can't really think of a way that it doesn't get weird. I have private business, like it's not like private, but we'll talk shop, and talking shop is fine, right? Like what? Are you afraid that like, oh, I don't want my friend to know about my drop ship t-shirt that I'm gonna be doing? Get the fuck out of here. Like you're just being weird to people on purpose. Like there's no other reason for that. Only Red and I would have any idea how we work together and acted around each other with a hoe. This is actually like really fucking strange. The way you guys kept everything so tight-lipped that everybody is befuddled by your experience in real life is just not selling me. It's like the way she's presenting it makes it seem like only her and Red have all the answers, right? She's making it as like, it's only us. We're the only ones who really know what's going on. She's really not helping the stereotypes. Not only hit her boyfriend, but hit him so well she cucked him. Yeah, she is kind of walking right into the stereotypes. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Sorry. I got a text message. What is this, Falgi? Are you also trying to derail me? I'm gonna Oh, yeah. I guess that would be if I get bored, and I need a just quick once over it. La la la. I live with his Red and his family from the summer of 2022 to the end of February 2025. Okay, I'm getting fucking infuriated here. This motherfucker was making stacks on racks on racks on racks. And motherfucker was living rent free. She was living rent free. I have never outright told anyone this, including my closest friends. We wanted to keep at least part of our personal lives private from everyone. And even telling some people we lived apart. On stream, I've always said I live with family friends and streamed in a basement. The basement part is true. It's where I spend a majority of my time. It's where I worked and streamed from. My career started there in 2021 with my ASMR. Red was the one with the PC, mic, and experience with content creation, since it's always been his hobby. I would go there more and more often until I moved in, when I became a full-time streamer. For most of my earliest streams with my PNG model, Red would be in the room with me, modding on a laptop and making sure things would run smoothly. He was there as my tech support. This guy's a loser. This guy. Oh my god, dude. He was there. He was my tech support with all my money. I could barely play games, let alone understand how to use it. Absolute girl failure makes 6 figures is killing me, dude. Oh my god, to be beautiful with no discernible skills, it must be amazing, dude. I wish I was a beautiful woman. I would so 100% take a guy on a fucking ride. Fellas, we need to talk, fellas. Jesus. He was there to fix OBS if something went wrong. I'm getting a phone call. All right, I'll be right back, chat. I gotta help with something for a second. So I'm gonna put on music. I'll be right back. Just give me like not 2 secs, but it is out of my hands. So let me put on some lo-fi. There we go. I'll be right back. Give me like 10 seconds. Sorry. Fucking fuck. Oh my god, I'm so fucking out of shape, dude. I've been working so much. I haven't done anything. Fuck, it's fucking bad. I can feel it, dude. I'm like let's get back into reading this, okay? just jump right back in. Like nothing ever happened. Like no break occurred just now. It wasn't really a break for me. I had to do a bunch of physical labor just now and rush to get back. Anyway. Starting sometime last year, my streams kept disconnecting. He moved his PC into his own room and has worked from there since. Starting sometime last year, my streams kept disconnecting and we couldn't figure out why. This was going on for months no matter what we did. It kept happening. We thought it could be something wrong with the internet there that we couldn't fix. So as a last resort, my parents and I made space for me to move back in with them with my entire stream set up in February. We were able to fix the problem, but it ended up having nothing to do with the internet at all. We've been living here since, separate. I've been living and working here since, separate from Red. Okay. I am going to make a statement. Look, I know that I still live with my family, right? It's very frustrating. I hate doing it. It actually makes me fucking miserable. But I think she was making enough money to move out. Just my hot take. When did Cinder get giga big? When was she making like a livable income? Because she definitely was. The reason why I'm revealing all of this now is because we could easily go on to each other's DMs whenever we wanted to in those 3 years, but we didn't. It's not like we ever showed each other our messages directly. We did all the time, but we didn't comb through each other's DMs at the end of the day to read everything we may have said. I don't know anyone who say that's normal. We would just tell each other things that happened, and that was that. Yeah, because you guys were present with each other, right? But you're like saying that you're not privy to business discussions that are going on. Like, that's what you're saying. I didn't know that Red did these things. But it's like, okay, well, you were there present with him when these conversations happened. And now you're saying that, like, you don't know? What? Like, that's even crazier. Now that I know that you were present with him, you should have been able to give final say on a lot of these things. I never felt the need to look over someone's shoulder to check on anything and everything he was saying or to who. We trusted each other, and he's always had my best interest in mind. I know, man. He was ready to bend over backwards for you and spread his fucking cheeks. I'm choosing to have Red continue to work with me. He'll be doing most of what he did for me, but will not be going to any work-related communications for me in any channels. I am not also a part of. Yeah, I mean, that should have been the case. Even if I have a manager, I usually am present in the call, or like I'm present in the conversation even if I don't say anything. Even for my company now, I'm always present even though I don't say anything. It sounds like a situationship born of a business relationship. Yeah, actually, yeah. Yeah, many such cases, by the way. The Red Cinder dynamic is not uncommon, dude. I have seen it many a times in the creator industry. It is super common. There's a lot of really technical, weird guys who end up bagging like fucking tens, dude. Just because they know how to do all the tech work and they're willing to make this woman rich if it gets them some ass. It's crazy, dude. The kind of things that men'll do for women. It's just wild. A man will just completely debase himself. Which, honestly, get that bread, girl. Manipulate. He made mistakes and I forgave him. I wouldn't be where I am without him. And he's just as much a part of Cinder as I am. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't like that this document opens with her, like, nailing her boyfriend to a cross. And, like, we're not addressing her shit. Like, we're addressing his first. Like, this is the first chapter of the Google Docie. And the first thing she does is put the blame on him. It just reads really bad. It makes her look like she is as much of a bitch as she says she is. He wasn't just a manager that handled some messages. Yeah, he also was your boyfriend. He had a part in a lot of the things I did. He's always been the main creative mind behind my tape views and other releases too. Is he the reason for that terrible song you did? Even with how involved he was, Red was still his own person with his own ideas, his own opinions, his own feelings toward people, his own goals, his own ambitions. No, he wasn't. He was none of those. He had no ambitions. His ambition was for you to be successful. His goals were for you to be successful. His feelings towards people were completely dependent on whether or not they were going to be good to you. I assume those guy managers make money off the arrangement too. Yeah, but the lump share goes to the creator. That's always how it's been. They only make bread and live a good life as long as they stay together. Which a lot of these guys do end up staying with them because they don't feel like they can do better, and then once they assume like a marriage or something like that, like Sniper Wolf's boyfriend who cheated on her, right? Where it's like, what the fuck was that guy doing cheating on Sniper Wolf? Well, he already got everything, and now he wanted a little more. At that rate, once you're in for a penny, you might as well be in for a pound. But some of those guys want to do that and then some, and then it ends up blowing up in their face. Rightfully so, because they're being fucking weird slime balls about it. Working under the same brand as me. He's always been business sensible one of us. This is never going to help her at all. Holy shit. And the work side of things is always his focus. We work together on almost everything, but we didn't agree on everything. There have been many business or creative decisions we'd argue back and forth about, sometimes taking days to reach a compromise. Red didn't always consult me before making his own choices in the messages with a lot of our partners. So I thought you said you didn't know, but now it sounds like you said you did know. Interesting, because that would be a contradiction, my dear. A lot of the time I agreed with what he did or said and it was fine, but sometimes I didn't, and it was either compromised or I had him walk back what he said. Red didn't tell me about every single interaction he had worked on people with. This girl. I didn't expect him to. I trusted him. There was never a reason for him to not tell me something important. That was until we disagreed about one of my friends, Bao. At the start of the year, we moved a lot of our work-related conversations with various artists into a project server so everything could be organized into one place. I could be included in discussions and decision-making where I needed to be, and I would be able to see everything said without having to rely on Red to relay every detail of the things that he was handling. This was for organization convenience, and so I could interact with every person working with me directly. However, this didn't mean Red didn't still use his DMs to do business or talk with people we were working with. Besides the allegations, Nano's document, no one else we've worked with has ever complained about Red. And we've worked with dozens of people who I would say their experience with working with us was nothing but positive. Well, I mean, again, the only people... It's just no way. There's no way to write this without releasing messages that doesn't make you sound like you're lying, dude. There's no way to square that circle. That is a zero-sum game, actually, okay? Like I said in my apology, there were things Red didn't tell me or hid from me and did without me knowing in my DMs. This is your business. I'm sorry, but Cinder is your face. That's you. That's you. But he was doing things without telling you. He should be fired. He should be fired. That is 100% grounds for termination, dude. He's like fucking up business deals that are worth 6 figures. They're all shown in this document in order below. I didn't know about any of these things beyond what I was told, if I was at all. Diesel, there are so many screenshots. I know. Red's inclusion of Bao and Cotton in his exclusivity deal with Nano in January of 2025. Red telling Artist 1 Bao was someone he considered competition while discussing exclusivity on the same day as his deal with Nano. Red's conversation with Nano about Shy Lily in April of 2025. Okay, all right. Falling out. The night the first documents were posted, Red was here with me. I ended my stream, and he came over to see me while we worked on a few things together. While we were still awake, when Nano and Bao posted their document at almost 2 a.m. EST. I didn't understand what was going on and started panicking. Red tried to explain what happened, but I blew up at him and kicked him out, regrettably refusing his help. So, wait a second, but that also... Okay, so you were like, I was alone. But the reality is that actually you kicked him out when he was trying to explain the situation to you. Okay. We weren't in contact for almost a month after. This relationship sounds actually fucking miserable. I would not... This is not reasonable at all. I had one friend reach out to me after things were public, and I responded to them sometime after Red was gone. I chose to not include their own message here. I'm sorry, redacted. Unrelated to prior redacted. Who be messaging me now? Okay. All right. I don't need to respond to that right now. I'm sorry, blank. I'm trying to collect myself. Red and I aren't speaking right now, and I'm so upset with everything. I was so distraught, and I posted that Red was fired later that morning. Unironically, you should have actually fired him if this is how your relationship with him goes. This guy sounds like he's completely ill-equipped to be doing the role that he has, and he has no experience in it, aside from wanting to tap your tail, bro. I wasn't trying to throw him under the bus and avoid accountability. I mean, you kind of are kind of nailing him to a cross right now. Who be messaging? Who be messaging me? Oh my god, my voice. Ugh. Fuck. Dude, caffeine and no eating is like fucking killing me, actually. Meanwhile, I'm getting like giga fat from working all the time. It's bad. In my apology, I said, as of yesterday, is no longer working with me, and I have not extensively discussed any of this with him. Because Red will continue work with me, I will be deleting this tweet sometime after posting this. We're on to the next section. My apology and taking accountability. Now that I've reviewed everything that happened and had time to reflect on... This section should have came first, by the way. Then I'll go over things Red or I both did wrong so we can take responsibility. Each section will explain. Screenshots that are directly of or taken from another document are highlighted with an orange border. Dates and important messages with any screenshots are highlighted in yellow. Quotes from my apology are highlighted in gray. Red's own comments on anything being presented are labeled and highlighted in blue. There's the original my apology. Things I have claimed and admitted to in my apology were based on what I knew at the time of what was published in everyone's documents and what Red told me right after. Right after you kicked him out or the month later. I shut him out when I shouldn't have. I made my apology without his help, without all of the info in front of me, and without knowing the full scope of what happened, how it happened, or what to believe. I was under extreme stress and This is like a government level filibustering. I'm sorry. Holy shit, this is killing me. The main takeaway people had from my apology was that I pushed everything onto Red and didn't take accountability for anything myself. Well, it does kind of seem like you're doing that again. So there is that. What I blamed Red for in my apology because he was guilty of doing them. Him telling me how great it would be to work together with Silvervale. Him holding a grudge against Bao. What I blamed Red for in my apology when I was also guilty. Red was the one with a business-oriented outlook on things from the start. She is just doing the same thing again. And this guy is world's most crucified manager right now. I adopted the same mindset myself. It wasn't me with the business mindset. It was him, and I adopted his mindset. Okay. My problem with the first apology is that I didn't blame him enough. I wrongly made it sound like he was brainwashed into thinking this was my way in my apology. What Red was guilty of in my apology that I didn't know about. Oh my god. Oh my god, this guy. This guy is so giga destroyed. I've never seen somebody fucking do this, dude. She's killing him, dude. She's killing him in real time. How does this relationship even function? Okay. Do you want to? I'm trying to think like if Red's thinking, damn, Cinder's like fucked. She can't be Cinder anymore, right? I guarantee you, it's running through his mind like, how do I run like a faceless AI channel? Like, how do I do that and involve Cinder and make sure that this stays together and we can make money? Blah blah blah. He's 100% I and AI voiceover right now. 100%. Red including Bao and Cotton in his own conversations, an eventual deal with Nano around exclusivity in January 2025, and bad-mouthing Bao in their DMs as if they were shared feelings. Red talking to Nano about Shy Lily and her model on April of 2025. Things I said about Red in my apology that I was wrong about. He did not manipulate Nanoless. Well, I mean, that kind of... I don't know. He did not push Nanoless to not work with Silverveil, and she was not a constant topic between them. You need to show DMs for that. Things I took accountability for. My apology. Agreeing with Red to talk with Nano about exclusivity, agreeing to specifically name Silverveil in the terms, and knowing a deal involving her was made, guilt-tripping Nano, feeling overly attached to Nano and her work, not knowing about what Red had said about Bao when I should have, not speaking to Bao about Red's feelings towards her and letting it spiral to the point it did, being upset and taking it personally when Bao hired my video editor. You're not helping yourself. I admitted to the world that I cheated on my secret boyfriend. Malcolm with the raid, Pog. Very Pog. I admitted to the world that I cheated on my secret boyfriend and pushed what was. I took no accountability and used him as a scapegoat. Even with all these concessions for what I did do, it was still somehow narcissistic. Who couldn't accept fault? Hey, I'm sorry, but you can't apologize and then... You either have to apologize or be like, I didn't do anything wrong, fuck you. Right? Because when you do, I didn't do anything wrong, fuck you. Here's what I apologize for. Fuck you, I didn't do anything wrong. People start to get a mixed message, dude. People making these claims already decided I was guilty of. It's like, a narcissist wouldn't apologize. Why would a narcissist ever apologize? Why would I ever apologize to reestablish my view as a perfect individual in my own head? I mean, the entire internet is actually telling me that I'm a very terrible person right now. But, you know, I'm not. It's like a narcissist wants to deeply validate their own opinion of themselves to themselves. And they need the internet to help them validate and do that. So, like, you're doing both at the same time. They also expected me to apologize for everything that I've ever done without any of it being mentioned, even if the matter was already settled in the past. I understand the things my manager did that I didn't know. Okay, I know he's your manager, but I feel like it's kind of insane to like just call him your manager. Like, you don't live with him and sleep with him and assumedly love him, right? I just, it sound like it's so like, I don't know, man. There's like some distance with it that just feels wrong. Like if we're talking about like, oh, I'm just trying to protect my boyfriend type shit, it would be like, yeah, she cheated on a secret boyfriend with the other secret boyfriend. My accusers went out of their way to claim Cinder did this, Cinder did that, completely disregarding Red's agency from any of his own words or actions. Oh my god, dude. She is absolutely skewering her boyfriend. Okay, the problem is that Red was operating as your liaison in these settings. So yes, Red operates with agency, but the buck stops with you, whether you like it or not, right? So the fact that you weren't paying attention to things, you should have set these appropriate business boundaries in your professional relationship with Red before. And then if you didn't realize, you should have figured that out at some point. At some point, it should have been figured out, right? It sounds like you two argue and disagree about a bunch of stuff and also talk and share each other's DMs quite a bit. So then how do you do both and neither at the same time? The proof I must have known about everything he's ever said and done was because they said we worked together on our phones during a few times a year we were traveling. And NATO's document showed 2 of my screenshots from over a year apart of the separate situation where I knew more or less what had happened between her and Red. There was no other evidence presented for their claim, but they told everyone that it absolutely had to be this way. You guys are like sharing each other's messages on your phone and looking at it, and then people are like, why didn't Cinder know about this? Red shows the messages all the time. And now you're like, of course I wouldn't know about this. We don't show our messages all the time. And then proceeds to show like an example of when they show each other their messages all the time. So it's like, you're not helping yourself. You're telling both ends of the story here and saying both are true and not true. Emphasis was placed on Red's usage of we or our. Yes, because he was a partner in your company, your business. As if they could know for a fact it meant Red was always speaking with my knowledge, approval, or oversight every time. That is actually kind of what a manager does. This was necessary for their narrative to work against me. Damn, I think that, you know what, man, I'm only like kind of in it. This motherfucker did it. This motherfucker did it. All right, say what you will about Nano. I got plenty of opinions about Nanolist. I got plenty of opinions about these other VTubers. This motherfucker did it. She's guilty. She did it all. This is what I said in my apology about this. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao and these DMs either. And him using we and our in this context is horribly incorrect, and I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. Red is your manager. He represents you in business discussions. A manager manages your brand. Yeah, so you have more time to do other things. Here's Red's statement. Dude, the cuck is now responding. I've always been more or less the creative lead on things we did, like model designs, project ideas, and art in general. And Cinder often agreed with my creative judgment. She trusted me to do the communication I did for her without oversight. It sounds like he's throwing her under the bus. It sounds like they're blaming each other. Hey, something on page 750 might change your mind on the guilty verdict. You never know. For example, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll read it in my off time. For example, a lot of the time, I'd be the one talking to the artists we were working with, who only knew me as Cinder's manager. If I knew the direction I wanted to take something, with or without talking to Cinder beforehand, and I said, I want this art to be like this, instead of Cinder wants this art to be like this, then it felt like an awkward thing for me to say. In my mind, to the person we're working in, I'm just the manager, not the creator, not the streamer, not the client. What I myself wanted wasn't important. What Cinder wanted was. So in order to give weight to what I would say, I started using we early on, without speaking for her directly saying Cinder. You are her manager. It is implied and commonly understood that you represent Cinder when she is not present. If we wanted to do something a certain way, that it'd give me agency by implying that we both agreed on and made that decision that Cinder was aware of and being made. Regardless of it, she actually was or wasn't at the time, and that my words had meaning. I was speaking on the brand's behalf. Yeah, What, is the brand separate from Cinder? I'm sorry, the brand is Cinder. They are one and the same. It is Cinder. That is it. It became a habit of mine to talk this way regarding projects or business dealings. I didn't start doing this because anyone told me I should be. I didn't speak like this all the time or in every single message. It's not like Cinder never knew about what I was saying when saying we. If afterwards she did disagree with me on something, then I'd walk back what I said and say that Cinder actually wants it this way. For example, very often Cinder was on the same page as me beforehand. And we would, dude, this guy actually is writing this in a, did they not? This guy is like actually just blaming her. It is actually kind of crazy. She literally said they had communication issues for the entire relationship, just for Red to say he handled most of the communication between Cinder and other parties. Not only that, but like Red is saying that like Cinder had no qualms with the we. Like the we thing was completely fine. Cinder had no issues with it until other people took issue with it. Like he's just throwing it, he's throwing the hot potato back. I'm gonna be honest, Chief. I tuned out 30 minutes ago. Well, I appreciate you're still here, Pi. In the case of an exclusivity deal with Nano, I used we when talking about Bao, so it seemed like Cinder also backed how I felt. Cinder not only wasn't aware of this, but I knew she didn't agree with me about what I was saying. Oh my god. Dude, this guy... in our conversation, Nano said herself that she was, quote, not really down with working with people who Cinder didn't want her to. So I made sure to tell Nano how we felt, expressing my own feelings to her as if it was both of ours. This will be shown in Nano's section. There are 3 things in my apology I need to correct that'll be shown in full detail in this document. Okay. If you get like Giga exposed and there's like a Google Docu released on you, you get to respond one time and you got to make sure it's good. Okay. You can take as much time as you need, but it needs to be within a reasonable amount of time. Not 1 day or 1 week, but maybe like 2-3 months. Okay. Especially if it's big. What you definitely can't do is produce your own Google Docu within 48 hours of the OG Google Docies, and then release your own Google Docu 5 months later. Okay? I left out a lot of information regarding my experience with Silvervale in trying to overly apologize to her, and ended up making things so much worse than what really happened. I lied about not knowing that Red spoke to Nano about Spite in 2023 to not make things worse for myself by revealing more than Nano or Spite did about what happened regarding her. I was wrong about which year the situation with Nyan Tails took place. I wrote that it was after my debut, but it was actually an entire year earlier. My apology and accusations made against me did not cover everything Red and I have done wrong. I've laid out everything below that will be presented throughout this entire document. The last 3 pages of this document have already just been filibustering, saying what's coming later. Explaining the motives and reasoning behind our actions are not meant to justify or diminish them or the feeling to those affected, but understand why they happened. Everything one of us or both of us are guilty of that accountability is taken for or shown in this document. We became neglectful of many friendships and personal relationships online and IRL. Red and I became consumed by our work and prioritized my career over all else. Red considered everyone, including our friends, competition to some degree, and I agreed. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, yeah, I have friends who are creators, but like, if in terms of streaming, yes, I know that we're competition, but like, you can be friendly competition, right? Like, there's no reason to be combative competition. You can be, but it's more beneficial to be friendly competition, right? And you really realize that because I've become friendly with the other store owners. It's like normal, even though we're all competition. We all, you know, we all help each other out because it helps everybody at the end of the day to be nice to each other and not be a fucking asshole. Red and I left Tricky at our hotel in Tokyo one day during our Japan trip in October 2024. White people take Mecca to Japan. Many such cases. I chose to distance myself from Cotton after what happened between her and a friend. I tried to go back on my agreement with the artist Next You in April of 2025. Red asked Nano not to work with Spite in January of 2023 and told me about it afterwards. I lied about not knowing he spoke to her about Spite in my apology to avoid talking about it. So, okay. So now you're saying I lied in my original apology. Okay. So now you're a known quantity liar. You want me to take you seriously this time? Okay. I knew Bao's model. I'm skipping ahead a little bit. Red and Nano agreed to a deal for her not to work with Silver, Bao, or Cotton in January of 2025, only telling me about Silver Veil's inclusion. Red spoke to Nano about Shy Lily in April 20. What the fuck is any of this have to... None of this is you apologizing. You're just explaining things. Oh, this is like to come. These are coming later. Every claim of wrongdoing that was made against Red or I isn't listed above is not true. Whether it was an assumption or lie in someone's document, statement made about me, or verbally on stream, I would have a list. It's crazy that I saw you shoot Archduke Franz Ferdinand Magellan that day in 1910. Okay, or 11. I don't know when fucking World War I started. But there's been such a ridiculous amount at this point that I don't even know where to start. You know what I've noticed? My vocal range as a streamer is better when I don't drink an energy drink, but I need to drink. I think I should start doing Coke. That's what I'm saying. Guys, I need to get famous so that way I can do Coke. Sorry, I needed to have a derailment right there, but it's true. My vocal range is like worse when I'm taking an energy drink. And speaking of, I'm about to sip one again. It's Ghost Raspberry Cream. This one is fucking delicious, by the way. These actions were not over years like the public was told. The majority of these actions happened in an 8-month span from August 2024 to April 2025. How each person affected... Let's just keep going. What the fuck is this? Okay. It's crazy that she was the second shooter on the grassy knoll, you know? It's been falsely claimed that I was using, manipulating, sabotaging, betraying, and backstabbing all my friends for years in an effort to deplatform them and ruin my careers. I mean, it just kind of sounded like you wanted to backstab them so you could be more famous, not deplatform them. But that was my take on those things. Maybe mentally ill people deplatform, but let's be real, sister. That was never going to happen. There was never some kind of years-long grand conspiracy of deceit against anyone. And I have never pushed a ladder down behind me. It's pulled the ladder up. Pulled the ladder up behind me. I've never heard it presented that way. Damn, bitch. I hope you do push the ladder down. Help some of us out, bro. I have never been jealous or envious of any of my friends or anybody else. Wait a second. Didn't she say earlier that she was envious of somebody else at some other point? My favorite ghost is Sour Patch Kids Blue Raspberry. See, I've noticed that blue raspberry tastes the same in every single brand of energy drink. So I've kind of just, I need something else. The orange creamsicle one is also really common, and I do not like that. But this raspberry cream, I've never had it before. It's really good. Let's see. I loved my friends. Our experiences together were real. Our memories together are real. It hurts that I even need to say that here. There are plenty of things my friends know that I've done for them, helped them with, or included them in, for no other reason that they were my friends. I've always answered their questions and offered them advice when they asked. I've done my best to be there and support them at all their debuts, with all their endeavors, and I've personally bought so much of their merch without even saying so. I literally brought brownies my mom made across the country to share with them. I spent my own time making a one-of-a-kind cosplay pieces for their VTubers for no other reason than that they were my friends. More than the 3 finished pieces below were planned for my friends, including Bao. Before I put all of the crafting focus into... more than the 3 pieces below were planned for more of my friends, including Bao, before I put all of my crafting focus into my Nile Hister cosplay. It meant a lot to me that I could make these things that meant a lot to them. You know what's funny? I like how she's like, I was making a lot of things for my friends before I went to make something for myself. I only drink that flavor of Ghost because it's only 5 calories. Bro, we're really splitting hairs between 5 and 10 calorie Ghost cans. This one's 10 calories. I don't think it's going to break my macros right now, though. I'm not even going to lie. I'm just fucking... I'm not fat guy falling, but I do be chonk maxing right now. That's the knife she used to stab her friends in the back with. I don't know what they think I did against them other than what I listed above, or where these ideas came from, or what rumors they were hearing about me, or how my friends collectively agreed that must have been the case after everything we've done and shared with each other. I absolutely could have been a much better friend, but I just can't believe every single one of them thought that this little of me at that moment's of notice. There were about a dozen of my friends involved before Nano's document was posted. Still, not one of them said anything to me before they were posted publicly. I think that you were ousted from the girly tribe is what happened. A lot of my friends did suffer due to where my priorities have been, especially over the course of 2024. Because of my focus being overwhelmingly on work and less on my personal relationships outside of it, I neglected people I cared about. And so did Red, both online and IRL. Even my closest friends, unless it was about work, I didn't put much energy into talking to them and hanging out. It's really easy to fall into nothing but like a hole where all you do is work. I'm working a lot of hours right now, but I've been making an effort to make sure that I talk to my friends. I make sure I have it listed on my to-do list to talk to my friends, actually, because I want to make sure and remember that that's important, because it is. When I wasn't streaming or working on something, I'd be isolating or hanging out with Red to decompress. I didn't have the energy to socialize. I tried to plan collabs with my friends as often as I could, and it was a way to hang out while still appeasing my content brain. Oh man, she got the content brain rot. My collabs with my friends were made into YouTube videos. I mean, that same thing happened to me when I was fucking actually successful, because that's just what you do. That's the only way you make it. The thing is, more and more avenues of content come out, you definitely do just have to keep constantly making because it's the only way you get successful. That does sound snaky of them, but this also requires us to believe her, as she literally admitted that she lied before. Yeah, she's fighting an uphill battle. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to drop her just because they didn't like how she was focused on work and not hanging out as people. And, you know, when something like that happens, people can just start to make up their own conclusions on the person, which is completely possible, which is why they might have decided, okay, let's go over every single relationship moment I've had with Cinder and see how she's acting now and kind of like look back at it and see whether or not that was good or not. Right? It's when you have like an innocent conversation or interaction with a friend, but then post hoc, you're like, maybe that wasn't as good as I thought it was. I'm sorry to those of my friends who I haven't given the time they gave to me. I'm sorry to those I haven't spoken to in a long time for no other reason than my own negligence. And I'm sorry to my friends that I only focus on work and didn't spend enough time being your friend outside of it. The business mindset. Picture of Cinder, but she's sitting like Andrew Tate in the Tate chair. Red and I slowly became more closed off and neglectful over the past couple of years, but especially throughout 2024, focusing more and more of our time and energy on this career. Work became almost 24/7 for us, never taking a break. It was our job, our hobby, and almost anything that we talked about. I'm belching, Morty. We love what we did. We both became consumed by the content grind. Our work-life balance became non-existent. We were going and going and going all day, every day. It's a two-person team, working to an obsessive degree. We were always trying to do more with more people all the time. Everything became about doing bigger things, achieving more, accomplishing more, growing bigger, launching more cool things, having more opportunities. I gotta be honest. What the fuck are you doing as a VTuber that requires this much? I'm trying really hard. Like, outside of the volume of content you need to produce as a YouTuber or a streamer, a lot of this kind of takes care of itself if you have a good manager, right? Like, what are you gonna do as a YouTuber? Make merch. Okay, so we commission artists to make merch, and then we go with the dropship label. You know, maybe like a Crowdmade or a Teespring, or you get a deal with the company and they do it. I mean, most of the logistics is handled by other people. So outside of like getting the artist and then negotiating the pay, what else is there? Not much. Like, what else? Oh, a song? Well, then that's going to require a lot more effort on the creator's part. They'll need to set aside time to do recording. But ultimately, like, a lot of that is like you come in, you bang out an hour in a studio, and then you're good. And it goes off to another guy who mixes it, and you don't touch it at all. But you're saying it like you were constantly working 24/7. I just don't believe that. I actually have to, like, right now I'm probably working like probably like 80 hours between like the store, the book, and like my YouTube stuff. But like I even still have time to like talk to people. So it's like, what are you fucking doing? I don't understand. I still have free time. I still have free time in my week. So does my brother. What are you doing that you literally have none? You're not producing enough stuff that I would think you have like more, right? You're not like fucking buying a factory and then building a logistics network. Like, you're not there. Which, by the way, all that shit's really fucking hard. Our problem wasn't greed like it was claimed. It was ambition. I feel like, you know, in the same breath that ambition, I feel like ambition and greed go part and parcel together, right? Like, if make no mistake, guys. I mean, I said this last stream, but I like being internet famous. I'm not gonna lie. I like the attention. Is that greed? Yeah, sure. But I like making things because it makes me more famous. It's like both ambition and greed kind of go hand in hand. Like, you got to be a little greedy to be ambitious. You got to put you first to be a little ambitious. Like, it's kind of like both kind of exist. Not to sound incredibly evil, and I know I'm referencing somebody who is evil, but you know, if you want to be like extremely successful, greed is good. All right, Mr. Money More Bucks. Obviously, you don't want to be the kind of person who like throws car batteries in the ocean, right? But like, you got to be a little selfish to be successful. It could be me not knowing how VTubing works, but this kind of sounds like she's making it out to be more overblown than it really is. This trended worldwide, so yes, everybody overblew. The standards in VTubing are insane, okay? Ambition that was wearing too thin to keep up with everything. Yeah, greed really is the fuel for these things, but too much greed turns you into, well, not even like, you know, Cinder, but it just turns you into a fucking monster. Like if you're too ambitious, you become Elon Musk and you're like, finally, now I can tell everybody why Hitler was good. You know? So like you don't want to be like too greedy, but like you should be greedy enough that you want a life for your family that's comfortable. We were always looking ahead, always had to be progressing, and never stopped to appreciate where we were or the people around us. Motherfuckers be like, yes, the allegations are true. We did not stop to smell the roses. The allegations are true. I never stopped to smell the roses. I mean, I love the job I do, the product my company makes, the good we do, but not gonna lie, the money is nice too. Yeah, I don't like this. Look, I understand why rampant and unchecked greed is bad for society, because we end up with insane Peter Thiel eugenics motherfuckers, okay? But like, can we stop saying like money doesn't play a role in why we make decisions? I know it's like the unspoken thing. Like if you're in a job interview and your boss is like, "Why do you want this job?" and you're like, "Money." Yeah, maybe not then, but like, why are we pretending like it doesn't play a role in the decisions we make? It's not good for us to try and pretend to be altruistic like that, and it's okay to say that, yeah, the money makes a difference and it matters. The allegations of us being on the 24/7 grind set are unfortunately true. Guys, you have no idea how much health insurance matters to me. And I live in America, which means it's expensive.
Cinder is out here talking like she's in Hololive and has to fly to Japan every other week, have concerts, make music, be an idol, do brand deals, and all the other shit.
Yeah, but like on the same token, we know she's not. How can we buy Mana Potion coffee without some cash? Well, there is a way that you'd get it for free, but I'd prefer if you don't do that. One instance I may have been called out for regarding this was during my Heaven Hound model debut. During my lore video, I had an intermission where my chat needed to fill a gold bar on the screen with bits to progress the video. It was the easiest way for me to implement interactivity into the view, and my chat having direct involvement by cheering me on was important to the story being shown. The motivation wasn't to have people give me money for the sake of it. I'm sorry, are you fucking serious? Dude, I need to be more aggressive with my donations, dude. I need to be more aggressive. That's fucking crazy. You guys know that there's this free feature on Twitch called Channel Points, where you can donate points to a streamer. In return, you get things. So why didn't they just make a custom channel point to move the video along? Why did they make it a pay-to-play situation? That is actually insane. I kind of fucking dig that. That is so fucking like, I need your money now. But also in the same token, that's really smart. That's a great way to generate income. Me putting the Goblin VTuber cock veil behind a paywall is crazy. Yeah, cam models do the same shit. Dude, that love sense is beeping like crazy. The mindset got myself and my career to where it was, but it took over our lives to an unhealthy degree. This is so funny. Dude, Doug uses the channel interactivity stuff quite a lot with the channel points. You know, I wish YouTube had channel points. I wish it had bits. I wish it had a lot of the interactivity stuff that Twitch has. We're slowly getting it, which is awesome. But, you know, I'll take what I could get. I wish we had global emotes, but then I have a feeling we'd end up with like swastika emotes everywhere and stuff, so. This mindset got myself in my career to where I've been making changes so I don't fall back into the same unhealthy work mindset. You need a therapist. Competition. In my apology, I said, I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. Red always considered everyone our competition, including my friends. I understood and agreed with his reasoning below. It didn't change anything between my friends and I didn't treat them any differently because of it. The only person I became directly competitive against was Silvervale, and it wasn't right of me. I mean, I sometimes just like hate people, so like I can use them as like fuel for creating, you know? We should not have global emotes. Nick's audience would abuse the fuck out of that. Yeah, actually, good point. No, we should be able. I should be able to whitelist creators, so you can also use their emotes in my chat. You know, so like I could let OpBlock or like Chris or Beckett have their emotes play in my chat too. Yes, KJ, you're on the money. The content creation sphere is massive, and the VTuber sphere is a fraction of that with its own audience. Unemployed man tries to tell us how actually it does do work, though. Everyone is always doing something, launching something, playing something. It's a constant race of relevancy, whether you want to look at it that way or not. It's the nature of the industry. Part of the reason why we're always working on new things, releasing bigger things, and at a faster and faster rate was to stay competitive into space. In a general sense, everyone was competition. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole everything was competition thing is fine. But like you talk about it in a way that makes you sound evil. You it's like you understand business, but you don't understand the communication of it, you know? Friends, other VTubers, and other content creators. But at the same time, that anyone and everyone could be considered competition. They're also collaborators, co-workers, and partners. Yeah, which is why you're not like a psychopath to everybody you meet, which is surprisingly a much rarer thing than you would imagine because everybody here is under-socialized. The end goal was staying relevant and in people's minds and in making sure our projects could succeed along anything else going on at any given time, while also topping on your own things we've done in the past. I don't think you constantly need to be making or producing something. Like if I was constantly, I don't know, like I'm obviously, you know, I'm making a book, but like that takes a long time. And I stopped for a while and I just didn't talk about it. So it's kind of like slow work and I'm not really rushing. And we've also slowed down on what we're producing for MPC. So that way we could focus on building the business. At some point it'll start again because you do actually need to produce new items as a business. It's just how that works. Because it helps people come back and then they'll buy other things. But also in the same respects, like content creation works a little different than that because you cannot release anything and still be fine. Relevancy isn't related to how many projects or items or collaborations you do. What matters really at the end of the day is the content you produce and whether or not the content resonates with people. This is a business, it's a job, but keeping the business... This guy just seems like... Now he just seems like an asshole when I read this. This is a business, it's a job, but keeping the business aspect of things in mind don't affect the way I saw our friendships with people or the way I treated them. They were my friends too. I feel like you were sharking them, actually. The only people I ever considered as direct competition in a negative sense were people either we had something against or they had something or didn't, they had or did something against us and were working with artists important to us. What? By 2025, this is only Silvervale from how she acted towards Cinder for years. Bow after what I thought she did to us and our other friends in December of 2024, but only until sometime after my deal with Nano in January 2025, and potentially soon to be Lily by the way she was treating Cinder, and coincidentally getting a model from Nanolist at the same time. I think you guys should hire other people. It actually sounds like there's a talent deficit in the VTubing community. If we're all looking to poach the same guy, maybe we need to go somewhere else. It was wrong of me to feel this way, especially towards Bao. I'm sorry. Hey, I wanted to address the people Red and I hurt, so I don't have to put a larger section in this document. Jesus Christ. This just keeps going on and on and on and on. Okay. This truly is as bad as people said. It's just my friends Red and I traveled to Japan last year. All of the white people went to Tokyo, and they pogged when they went to a shrine. They made at least 5 references about Yakuza, and it was really inappropriate when we did that. Sorry, none of that was in the document if you're one of the people listening, but I could understand why you thought it was. Tricky and I were all talking about going to the Godzilla store the night we arrived. God damn it. That one's actually in the document. But other plans left us with no time to go. The next morning, Red and I were up super early, ready to leave the hotel around 8 or 9. We waited in our hotel room for about an hour without hearing from Tricky at all. Because we only had a few days left in Japan, Red and I wanted to make the most of our remaining time. We were around friends all week and didn't have much, if any, time alone together in Japan. The other half dozen of us either had our own plans or were still sleeping too. There were other friends staying at the same hotel as Red, Tricky, and I, so instead of waiting around for Tricky to wake up, we selfishly chose to go into the city and go to the Godzilla store without her. I gotta address the Godzilla store allegation. Oh, shit, I can't believe this is in the document. This is actually really funny. By the time Tricky was... I'm sorry, this bitch was asleep. Go to the fucking thing without her. Be like, bye, I went without you. Red and I were across the city, and we didn't go back to get her. We only met up towards the end of the day, when everyone reconvened somewhere. Red and I are sorry to Tricky for leaving her behind. Are you serious? I'm sorry. This tricky bitch just wanted to feel like it. Why? Okay, if you were all staying at the same hotel and this motherfucker wasn't awake after an hour, why didn't you just go knock on her hotel door? Oh my god. I'm sorry to Cotton for the way I've avoided her and turned down collabs together for a situation that had nothing to do with me. I thought I was being a good friend to someone I was close with, but it was unfair to treat her the way that I treated her. I did not agree with how Red included her name in his deal with Nano, and I wouldn't have let him if I knew about it, regardless of how I felt about her at the time. I gotta say, I've had like a few brief interactions with Cottontail She's always been very polite and fucking normal, actually. So that's I thought it was really funny that she got included because she was like unplugged from the internet at the time. It was wrong of me to ask Nano to not work with Cotton. It was a spur of the moment thing, and after hearing about the situation she was involved in, I took it upon myself to do what I thought was right by another friend. Cotton always been nice to me personally, and she didn't deserve that. I'm sorry. I like how they just eat crow for this. Like, there's literally nothing here about anything, but they literally just go, my bad, and then that's it. That's actually kind of crazy, considering they explained the Godzilla store allegations. Nixiu deleted her tweet with her docket about me. She shouldn't have, because she was right. I was going to include it here for reference, but I've left it out because of what she wrote in it. So instead, I've summarized the situation below. Second, I don't want any kind of public reaction to this. I really don't want to appear on videos or similar. I don't want my case being used as an excuse to put more hate into it. I just want to share and let it out of my chest and probably delete it in the end. Person is like, have you people ever heard of a diary? Actually, I think a diary and journal and writing in a journal is actually really helpful. Nix or Lal Maya AF is an artist that reached out to me via email about making artwork in exchange for showing it off and giving a shout out to her Patreon on stream. I hadn't seen the email, but she made a tweet laying out her terms and tagging me in it. I messaged her that I was interested. I put her in contact with Red and he handled things from there. Through Red, we made our agreement. It wasn't until she had a large portion of a sketch finished when I changed my mind about our agreement and didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know what I was going through my head or what my reason was for it, but I told Red to call it off. Red tried to make it seem like there was a miscommunication somewhere to save face for me, but it was really because I was being unprofessional. He talked to me, and I agreed to follow through with the art showcase and shout out on my stream. However, I failed to follow Nixiu's terms that were agreed upon. I didn't verbally shout out her Patreon and only showed a link to it that was on her artwork. I'm sorry, if you're an artist, don't ever work for a shout out. Shout outs don't have click through at all. There's no click through on a shout out. It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking matter. Shout outs don't fucking matter. Shout outs do not matter. It does not generate revenue. You work for money. Okay? If Cinder wanted to back out, you should have been like, all right, man. Well, I did this work. I need payment for it. We agreed on this, but if the terms have changed, then I want to renegotiate. That's what you do. Okay? Simple. I also didn't show the censored, not safe for work version of the art, but that was because I was worried about getting in trouble with Twitch. There you go. Simple. That's fine. But yeah, shoutouts don't put food on a table. Not only that, it doesn't matter if you're a big streamer, shoutout is not going to generate like revenue, right? I've had my TikTok pinned on the top of this chat for the last 4 streams. I've maybe gotten 4 followers from it. The reality is, I just need to put out more TikToks on a TikTok account. That's it. This was an unprecedented situation. I caused an artist, and I've never done something like this with anyone else. I handled an agreement I made, and extremely regrettably, unprofessionally. This was way out of character for me, and I'm sorry to Nixiu for how I handled things and the stress I caused her. I encourage anyone reading this to support her and her incredible work. Guess what? I'm going to click away from this and not do that. Crazy. It's actually amazing. Sorry, I uninstalled TikTok a year ago. Yeah, I was like poo-pooing on TikTok and I wasn't getting on it. But I basically came to the conclusion that, yeah, we ain't winning this Cold War. I think China already won. So... And now here comes the nanolist section of the document, which is 253 pages long. Well, it's 10:30, so I'm going to bed because I have to work a shift tomorrow. I will do a part 2 to this though, and we'll start with the nanolist section. If that is okay with you, chat. If you're okay with these terms of this agreement. I've never been one to renege on an agreement associated with melons before. Yippee. Oh my god. My throat do be hurting though. It must be from all the penis in my mouth. Why did I say that?